In terms of Vaisakhi, 13th April 1699, in some texts you might come across a date that is 57 years ahead, so 1756. The reason for that is usually in our Sikh history, our traditional dates are run with the traditional Bikrami calendar, which is 1699, this is the kind of our calendar, the solar calendar that we follow. But it's usually 57 years behind the Bikrami calendar. Okay, so if you see a date 1756 is the year that Vaisakhi was celebrated, don't be alarmed, because it's usually the traditional calendar that they're following. All right. Bhai Har Singh Ji was one of the Singhs who stood up in the Panj Pyare and witnessed Guru Gobind Singh Ji give the Gurgaddi to Guru Granth Sahib Ji. Is that alright? Do you understand what I'm going on about there? If anyone feels that they don't understand, just put your hand up and just say, because I don't want you to feel as if you don't understand what I'm saying. Yeah. So alongside Baba Deep Singh Ji, great Gursikhs like Bhai Santokh Singh Ji, he was one of the 5 people who stood up and witnessed Guru Gobind Singh Ji bow down to Guru Granth Sahib Ji at Sri Hazur Sahib and give the Gurgaddi, give the Guruship to Guru Granth Sahib Ji, and then proclaim to all the Sikhs that from now on the living Guru is Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj. Okay, he was quite a good diary writer as well, and it's his diary that this information is taken from. Okay, about Vaisakhi. So he was obviously with Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji Maharaj, and around the time that the Vaisakhi, the whole thing happened at Kesgar Sahib. We're going to discuss what happened today. So usually on Vaisakhi, Sikhs would get together anyway. The very first Vaisakhi was probably celebrated in Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj's time, but it took a formal kind of act when a great Gursikh by the name of Bhai Parji, Bhai Salo Ji used to serve Guru Amar Das Ji, the 3rd Guru. They suggested to Guru Amar Das Ji, would it be a good idea to invite Sangha to come to Goindwal Sahib and celebrate Vaisakhi as a block en masse. So the first kind of messages to celebrate Vaisakhi was sent by Guru Amar Das Ji Maharaj, the 3rd Guru, and Sikhs would come to Goindwal Sahib to meet up. And from then on, it continued in like Gursikhi, and continued from Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj's time. Vaisakhi nowadays is celebrate utmost. You might think Kesgar Sahib, but usually it's either Damdama Sahib, it's known for Vaisakhi, and also at Sri Harmandir Sahib. Okay, so those 3 places, but Damdama Sahib Vaisakhi is known quite a lot, because Hola Mohalla is kind of concentrated on Sri Kesgar Sahib, but Vaisakhi for the Gursikh Sikh Sangha, the Sikh Panth at the behest of that, the utmost is celebrated in Damdama Sahib. Okay, the Sikh Panth. So had sent messages to Sikhs all around. So Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji Maharaj 1699 had sent messages to Sikhs all over India, and not just India, Afghanistan and all the rest kind of neighbouring states where Sikhs were living, and told them that apne case na kataun, and they come to Vaisakhi for a special kind of meet together. All right, that was an instruction that was sent out.
Sorry, take it back. Is it recorded anywhere why Maharaj decided to give Guruship to Guru Granth Sahib Ji? Why
Guru
the lineage was ended?
Whenever Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj, why it's ended, the answer to that is that Guru Sahib said that when Gursikhs will write the Swarups of Guru Granth Sahib, they will copy the Swarups, like Baba Deep Singh Ji, Bhai Mani Singh Ji said. He said, "Bahute lokan da bahutiya jagah vich bhala hoga." So Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj can be taken to any country, and people would tend to do seva and stuff. That was the main reason for going to their roop, to Guru Granth Sahib Ji written Swarup. But I mean, even at the time of Guru Granth Sahib Ji, if you look back at all the Guru Sahib's lives as well, the satkar that they gave, from a satkar point of view, Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj all the way to Guru Amar Das Ji, Guru Ram Das Ji, Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj slept under Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj, Sri Akal Takht Sahib. When they take Guru Granth Sahib Ji into Sachkhand at night, underneath Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj's planga is still a chadar that is placed, and that is out of respect. Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj used to sleep on that chadar, but the scriptures above him. So they gave that satkar throughout history. And Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji Maharaj, and the reason why they gave that satkar possibly was to make sure that people understood that Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj is the roop of the Gurus as well. Bhai Nandlal Ji, we just come back from Seek to Inspire camp, and the topic that I spoke about there was a conversation between Bhai Nandlal Ji and Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji Maharaj. And Bhai Nandlal Ji asked Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji Maharaj, what are the good actions for Sikhs to follow? One of the actions Maharaj said was that get up early in the morning, start reciting Vaheguru even before you do Ishnan. Whilst you do Ishnan, keep reciting Vaheguru obviously, and then the next, after doing your Nitnem, after reciting daily prayers, come and see me, I want your darshan. And then Bhai Nandlal Ji asked Maharaj, your darshan, you spoke about getting a darshan, what do you mean by that? He trying to kind of get more information from it. And then Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji replied that I've got 3 forms. Nirgun Sroop, which you can't see, which is beyond colour. Imagine that at the start of Jab Sahib, when we read Chakra Chehan Barn Jat Pat Nehan, he's got no colour, no shape, nothing. We can't actually put a physical kind of description to him. He's beyond it all. That's Nirgun quality. And then he said, I've got Gur Shabd Sroop, Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj, and I've also got Sargun Sroop. And when he asked about Sargun Sroop by Nandlal Ji, as to kind of what was that, he said it was the Gursikhs. And he said certain types of Gursikhs as well. And then Guru Gobind Singh Ji then explained the qualities of the Gursikhs that he thinks are his roop. So that was kind of like put into a nutshell. So you can see how Maharaj not only gave Satkar to Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj, they gave the Gurgadi so that the message could be propagated to the whole of universe, but also because of Satkar of the lineage of Guruship, and it was his third roop as well. Because it's the written word of the Gurus. Is that okay? Please stop me like that, like Bhai Sahib did. It's better when you ask questions as well. I like that kind of thing. It's a good way of talking and kind of getting through the lecture. So we know that story. Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji Maharaj then appeared from a tent. In the Goj Poti actually says that Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji Maharaj got up early in the morning, Amrit Vela. This is the diarist writing. Did Ishnan, recited their Panj Baniya, recited their Nitnem, and then walked through Anandpur Sahib towards, because the Guru Ke Mahal, the place where Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji rested in Anandpur Sahib, is a bit of a distance away from where Kesgarh Sahib is. It's about 5-10 minutes walk. So Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji Maharaj walked through the streets at Amrit Vela and then entered the Diwan, and Asa Diwar Kirtan was listened to. Maharaj paid respect to the whole Sangat, and after Asa Diwar finished in the morning, Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji Maharaj then stood up, and they said their aura was glistening. So the way they were presenting to the Sangat was something that hadn't been done before. Gursikhs also write that 13 months prior to this, Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji Maharaj stayed quite silent and just got on with loads of Simran and Bani and Nitnem, just focus and contemplation before they led up to the build up of the kind of like foundation stones of the Khalsa were being laid through spirituality as well. When we look at we can trace back the formation of the Khalsa all the way to Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj, because there's conversations that Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj had with Rukunuddin and Kartni Nama, where he stated the Khalsa will arise. Then we can go to Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj when they're sitting on Tati Tavi. Sheme Pasha was instructed by Guru Arjan Dev Ji before he left for Lahore, before his Shahidi happened, that keep men, keep horses, keep soldiers, because we're going to start the uproot of the Mughal rule. Then the 9th, Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj stated that same fact back to Aurangzeb when they were being tortured, when they were about to be beheaded, that now the Khalsa Panth is going to start, so we're going to uproot evil. Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji Maharaj, when the cremation of Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj was taking place, Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji Maharaj at that time asked the Gursikhs, he said, was there anyone, how many people were there in Delhi? There's nearly 1200 families of Gursikhs in Delhi at that time, but not many of them spoke up for their Guru and tried to prevent the Beadbi from happening, the Shahidi of Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji from happening. So Maharaj said, I want to create such a Khalsa that will be recognized in thousands, then they won't be able to be missed. The identity began then. Okay, after Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji recited Kirtan Soila for the cremation of his own father's head at Anandpur Sahib. So when they came out into the congregation, they asked with sword in hand if there was anyone to give their head. I'm going to ask you a question. What happened next? Hanji? Who was it stood up? Was it straight away? Okay. Itihas says that Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji Maharaj called twice and no one stood up. Everyone was quiet. the cut that people say was there was about 80,000. There was a Muslim eyewitness who was a spy for the Mughal government. His name is Abu al-Tarani. He says there was about 40,000, but they would like to underestimate things anyway, right? 80,000 was the right amount, and that's what most historians will agree on. So out of the 80,000 people, 2 calls gone out, Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji Maharaj, I want a head, and 2 people, no one kind of answers, after 2 calls. And it was after the 3rd call that who stood up? Anyone know? What was their name? Bhai Daya Singh. You're right. He was not Bhai Daya Singh at that time because he was going to take Amrit, but you're right. It's Bhai Daya Singh Ji.
Could I ask a question?
Hanji.
You know the previous slide we took down about the tent? Is that from Bhai Har Singh's diary?
Bhai Har Singh said there was a tent there.
Obviously, the Rani said differently, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has.
There was no tent.
He stated that.
Also on the call as well from Maharaj, so there wasn't a second call on the first call by Jayarani and Paul. So
Why
believing the Rani thing rather than obviously that sounds like a more influential type of argument because he's an eyewitness from the opposition, the Mughals. Yet he's telling a story of the Vaisakhi, which is more believable because Maharaj ne saare samne set ke dikhaya. So why are we going by Har Singh's? Have you got writings by Har Singh's as well?
Bhai Har Singh Ji's writings were identified by Sant Gurdwara Singh Ji at Hazur Sahib, and the Granthi Singhs who do Rehra Sahib there are direct descendants of Bhai Har Singh Ji. The only Goj Poti which likhya dikha liya si. So that's where I'm taking it from. I'm not denying the fact that other witnesses were there. There are quite a few different accounts of the Amrit Sanchar. There's one recently that's just come out as well of Bhai Jeta Ji, Bhai Jeevan Singh Ji. He became Bhai Jeevan Singh Ji afterwards. He's written a Raitanama as well, and that's come to the forefront, and that goes quite clearly with being chopped, like the head's been chopped off in front of everyone as well. So I'm not denying that. I'm not denying the fact that there was a tent there either, because where did the tent come from? The tent is suggested, if you look at when Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj went to, I think towards Assam, there was a king and queen who did seva of them. They had no child, They did, after they did seva of Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj, unhande fir Maharaj blessed him with a child and said, "Thade ghar santan hogi." Unan da naam siga Ratan Rai Ji. And Raja Ratan Rai is the context behind even our 3rd Bani. The Swaya that we read, Saravak Sod Samud Sadan. When he arrived, because what happened was Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj blessed the child, and when he grew up, he had a dag on his matha, Ratan Rai. And when he would look at the dag, he'd obviously think where that kind of mark come from. One day he asked his mother and father, he said, "Where's this mark come from on my head? What's it all about?" And then the mother and father replied, the queen and king said that when we did seva Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj, and it was Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj who blessed you as a son to us, like it was with his bachan that you were born. And Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj had said that tere mathe te daag hoga. So what happened was he kind of developed a bit of love or Sharda for Maharaj at that time. He said, "I want to see Maharaj," and they said, "Maharaj is gone, he's done Shahidi." Then he asked, "Who's on their place now then?" And he said, "It's Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji Maharaj." Then Itihas says that Raja Ratan Rai brought loads of gifts for Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji Maharaj. One of them was the tent that they used for the Amrit Sanchar. One of them was a shastra that when you press it, it turns into 5 different shastras, almost like a Swiss Army knife, but better condition, yeah, right? And then there was a Prasadi Hathi as well, the Hathi that they presented, which would throw hearts and matha take in front of Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji Maharaj, and quite a few other gifts as well. And that the Hathi is well documented in Itihas, the shastra is as well as the tent as well. So that was the tent that was used in the Amrit Sanchar according to historians. But like you said, at the end of the day, only Maharaj knows what happened on that day, and the Panj Pyare know what happened at that time. There are debatable accounts. So now, I mean, like he says that 80,000 Sikhs, most Sikh historians will say 80,000, but Abu al-Tarani was the only one who said 40,000. So there's going to be, like with all Raitanam and all codes of conduct, there's always going to be a little bit of discrepancy. But the main thing is we take that Maharaj took the heads. That's the main thing. He didn't chataka goats or anything like that. Because in Itihas it says goats as well, right? but we don't obviously believe that as Gursikhs. Is that okay, buddy?
About the ghost, it's only one.
There's only one writer who's written it, yeah. That's right, that's right. So by there, Ramji was 31 years old at that time. 31. So you can imagine there's still time for us yet, some of us. We're gone past 31. Isn't it? 31 by there, Ramji stood up and offered his head. He was from Lahore Shahid and come to Guru Gobind Singh Ji when he was only 13 years old. So from the age of 13 to the age of 31, the amount of seva, simran, bhakti they must have done. Their parents obviously were already involved with Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj. They knew of Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj as well. Love reincarnation. Sant Guru Bachan Singh Ji in their writings write that through their avastha simran capabilities as well, that Bhai Daya Singh Ji was the reincarnation of Sri Ramchandra's son, whose name was Love. Okay, I'm not saying whether that is right or not. That's their spiritual capacity and whether they see it is justified or not. But what I'm going to take from it, I've seen, singing here myself, we like kind of looking at these kind of things that they house behind. Love and Kush were two brothers and they were the sons of Ram, right? Sita, who was thrown out by Ram, Sri Ramchandra Ji, who was an avatar of God, right? Because he didn't trust her kind of loyalty towards him in a way. It was a test of loyalty in a way. Or I wouldn't say a test of loyalty, it was like he didn't kind of have faith in her, faith in him, if you put it that way. Love and Kush were born. It said even by Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji Maharaj that Love and Kush formed the descendants of the Bedi and the Sodhi clans. From the Bedis came Guru Nanak Dev Ji, from the Sodhis came Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji Maharaj, from Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj onwards, Guru Ramdas Ji Maharaj onwards was the Sodhi clan. And Love and Kush at one point they were trying to please their spiritual guru at that time. And he was in doing some penance, but they needed some object. And that object could only be obtained from a certain place. And it says that Love and Kush, the two sons, they were only little children at that time, got tested so much just to get that object. It was gold, I can't remember what it was golden something. In the end, they managed to get it. They surpassed every single test that there was to achieve that and get it. So that's what I can take from this. The only thing I can take that by Daya Singh Ji, when we say that we've come to Gursikhi or into the house of Gursikhs, it's not just this lifetime that we're about. We've come through many lifetimes with Guruji already, possibly, right? What we can say for definite is that we've got a bank account of selfless good deeds built up already. That's why we get access to the house of Guru Nanak Dev Ji, every single one of us. Okay, it's not just an army old thing that we've just come to Gurdwaras or Matha Day before Guruji. We're very lucky and fortunate that we've come through this path already. However, maybe we haven't done enough kamai. Maybe we need to see out some karma, some predestined kind of like actions or things that we need to kind of clear off. But we're here, okay, and we're here. We've got a chance to kind of make the most of this Jeevan. So what does Daya mean? What does Daya mean? Compassion, isn't it? That's the first quality of a Khalsa. So Guruji took him, whether he beheaded him there and there, or whether he beheaded him in the tent. The fact is, he was beheaded, but he took compassion as the first quality of Amrit. Okay, so that is the first quality that we should have when we take Amrit. That's the first quality that we should be looking towards building. So I want to ask you a question: how do you build Daya within yourself? How can we become compassionate?
If you see everyone as your family rather than a stranger.
That's a good thing. So see everyone around you as someone closer to you than you even believe them to be. Anything else? Daya comes in many forms, right? One type of Daya is like if I was to see a poor man outside and I felt sorry for them and I offered them food, that's Daya as well, right? That's compassion. If somebody hasn't got a father or mother and you become that father and mother for them, that's Daya as well. Daya is also, there's a sadhu once, right? A shish came to him, a disciple came to him, and he goes, "Can you teach me about Daya, please? I want to know about compassion. How do I become Dharmi? I want to become Dharmi." Because before you get Dharmi, you have to get Daya first. Compassion is important first before you become a man of faith or a woman of faith. He goes, "How do I earn that? How do I become Dayawan?" He goes, "Here, take this stick, Lati leja." He goes, "I want you to take it to all the 68, the Hindu Dharma, they believe in 68 places of pilgrimage, yeah? take it to all the mandars, wherever there's water, wash it there. When you've done the 68 places of pilgrimage, then you'll see whether you've got daya earned or not. When it goes green, when it blossoms, although fir daya hogi tere manch. He goes, oh, that's quite easy then. And I say, goes, right, takes 68, takes a stick everywhere with him, yeah, the soti, going to all these places of pilgrimage. After the 68th one, Ishnan karake, he looked at the danda, kuch hoya nahi, didn't become, nothing happened with it. Hai na? Fir what happens is at night where he's resting outside the village, and he hears chor, he hears some thieves who are about to rob the village. They if they rob the village, they're gonna destroy things and hurt people, hai so danda leke sare charyan nu maar ditta, right? He killed the thieves. So as soon as he finished killing them, battering them, stopping them from thieving stuff, danda hara ho gaya, it blossomed, hai na? Yani ke that was an act of daya, even though it was killing someone or hurting someone. Because the reason is it stopped paap from happening. Paap hatya, that was the main thing. So when he went back to the sadhu, he explained that look, sometimes daya is when you actually help someone by protecting them or looking after them, and it leads on to why we have the Siri Sahib as well. Is that kind of clear? What I'm trying to put. So Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji Maharaj took his head and returned again asking for another head. Okay. Just at the bottom there, 7 days of hunger. When Bhai Taru Singh Ji used to feed the Singhs, Bhai Taru Singh Ji's got the one who got scalped, he's got his head scalped up but didn't get his gaze cut, yeah? The main seva that he used to do was to provide langar for the Singhs in the jungles who were outlawed at that time, or considered outlaws. And at one point, when the Mughals came in and tried to kidnap daughters belonging to the Hindu, belonging to the Muslim people as well, Bhai Taru Singh Ji came with food for the Singhs. 7 days they hadn't eaten. When he related to them the story about what had happened, they left the food there and then he said, Bhai Taru Singh Ji, the Khalsa's farj is, the Khalsa duty is first to save those sisters, then we'll eat afterwards. So that's the epitome of daya, where they gave up all their own sukh and aram to help someone else. You might have heard the word par upkar. Par means paraye vaste, for someone else. Up da matlab hunda nede hoke, so getting next to someone, close to someone, nede hoke, for someone else. Kar means helping them. Kise vaste nede hoke unna di seva karni, if they're incapable of it, that's called par upkar. Sometimes that person might not even realize at that time, but that's what Gursikhi should be about. And there's prime examples in Gursikhi where people have done that parupkar on others. So the Khalsa's collective parupkar there was that the fact that they put other people's ijjat first before their own hunger. Says in Itihas that Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji Maharaj, his actions kind of worried everyone. And people went back to Mata Gujar Kaur Ji, Mata Nanaki Ji and said, Maharaj has gone crazy. Some people complained about that. Some people said you should put Baba Ajit Singh Ji on the throne because Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji Maharaj is beyond it now. But where there's faith, where there's like bhavana, it overcomes all these doubts as well. So what happened was, on the other side, Bhai Dharmchand Ji was the next person to stand up. He said to be the avatar of Bhagt Tanna Ji. When you read in Aarti, Bhagt Tanna Ji, Jo Gopal Tera Aarta, Jojan Tumri Pad, Kanke Tinke Kaad Svarta. The history behind that is that he went to a Brahmin who used to worship a tak or a stone. Yeah? And when he saw him worshipping the stone, feeding it and doing Aarti of it and putting tilak on it and doing incense around it and stuff, Bhagt Tanna Ji said, why do you do that for? And the Brahmin said, it's because he gives you everything. He will give you darshan. And he says, will you give me darshan if you give me the thakur? And he goes, yeah. What Bhagt Tanna Ji's level was thinking, he wanted pratak darshan in front of him. There's different types of darshan, yeah? One type of darshan is jidda hun main samne khada, I'm standing in front of you, you lot are giving me pratak darshan, I can see you physically. Another type of darshan is like seeing Guruji in picture form. Yeah? Another type of darshan is seeing Guruji in your dream. or like Maharaj coming in your dream, appearing, Shaheed Singh's appearing in your dream or something, or a Mahaprabhu even for that matter. Yeah. So Supan Darshan, Chetar Darshan, which is pictures, yeah. Partak Darshan, which is in front of you, right in front of you, and there's also Sravan Darshan as well, where you hear someone. So if somebody speaks about someone, oh, they rahi darshan ho jande hai. So in terms of Bhai Bhagat Tannaji, from his previous janam, he was thinking about Partak Darshan. He wasn't thinking about just serving the Thakur. So he takes this stone home, right, and he sits there and he goes, I'm not going to eat until you give me darshan. He went to that level. Do tin din lange, nothing happened, and then Parmeshwar had to come and give him darshan. And then Parmeshwar had to do his kheti bari for him as well, and give him loads of stuff like food, wheat, ajadan, sugar, adik atta, adik. He even worked his fields for him, for Bhagat Tannaji. But when you look back at their janam, 11,000, there was 1100 janams of bhakti that Bhagat Tannaji had done. So if we go and get a brick from the outside on the road there, yeah, and say this is God in it and start worshipping it, we're probably not going to nothing's going to materialize. But Bhagat Tannaji had it banked up already. He had it all banked up. That's why Maharaj gave him darshan in that form. Yeah. So from a place, Delhi is known for like having no dharma whatsoever. It's the same Delhi which was called Hastinapur in the past. I mean, if we ever refer to Mahabharat, the Hindus' itihas, it was Hastinapur where the 5 brothers gambled their own wife away, right? And when she was being disrobed in the court, the 5 husbands put their heads down, and in the end the avatar of God at that time, who was Krishna Bhagavan, tried to save her, yeah, or saved her in the end. That comes in Bani as well about Draupadi, yeah. The point is that where a place is, and in recent times, how much we know how much has happened with the Sikh Dharam in Delhi itself, how many Sikh brothers and sisters have been killed there, right? Guru Tegh Bahadur Maharaj was made shaheed there. Sarmad Fakir, who was from a Jewish background, was killed by Aurangzeb there, right? So many people have been killed and shot in a place where there's no Dharam, but Dharam comes from, or faith comes from Delhi at that time in the form of 29-year-old Bhagat Tannaji. And he was only 25 when he came to Guruji originally. So he'd only been with Guru Gobind Singh Ji for 4 years. Most of you guys are Naujawan here. Who's 25 here? Anyone? Anyone? No one. 29? Paji at the back. So Paji, if you stand up, Paji, right? Oh, theek hai. Santokhe hai. So look, imagine Paji, right? That's the age what Bhai Dharma Singh Ji was. And then later on, when you hear the Gatha or you go through the Sakhiyan of Chamkaur's battle, and you see what Bhai Dharma Singh Ji did in the Shaheedi, Sawa lakh na jang kita, sawa pair waste. For 3 hours, nearly 4 hours jang on his own. I mean, you see, there were people who did battle and stuff, and they moved on. They went all the way to Hazur Sahib with Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji Maharaj. Out of the Panch Pyare, it's amazing as well. Their compassion and faith went all the way to Hazur Sahib with Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji Maharaj. And there, if you go there, you can see there where they were cremated. Their Angita Sahibs are still there today, in the same place where Mata Paakaur Ji's Shastra. So what does Dharam mean for Khalsa? It means returning women to their homes. There was the Queen of Chamba. She was supposed to be very beautiful, and they told Baba Deep Singh Ji to return her home to her place, because Baba Deep Singh Ji was full of Jat Sat. He considered her like a daughter. Okay. The point is that a person maintained their Jat Sat in that way. That's what the high ideals of the Khalsa are supposed to be. Not like we just WhatsApp any old BB, any old guy on the side and just get on with them and have relationships and whatsoever, right? That's not the Khalsa ideal. The ideal Khalsa is higher than that, way higher than that. Again, Guruji beheaded him, and then another demand as well. So Bhai Himmat Chand Ji came as well. He's considered to be the avatar of Fandak. There's a long story behind that. Just to keep it short, Fandak avatar in his last janam basically captured God, or an incarnation of God in a human form. And then when he realized who he was, God said to him, don't worry, I'll forgive you now, but when I come in the form of the 10 lights of Vaheguru Akal Purkh on this earth, I will take your head. So they already had that vision, they already had that knowledge spiritually. All these relationships between Guru Sahib and these Sikhs, and not just from one Janam, they're previous Janams as well. They weren't just any old people come along, they had connections. Jagannath Puri is 1,000 miles away from Anandpur Sahib. It's well known, Jagannath Puri, because it got destroyed by the Mughals, it got destroyed by the British as well, over and over again. But if himmat can come from, strength can come from a place which was destroyed over and over again by other faiths, the quality for the Khalsa, right? His parents served Guru Tegh Bahadur greatly, and he was 35 years old. So I'm 36, so 1 year younger than myself, that kind of age. What does it mean? Himmat means strength, Hana? What more strength is there than afterwards in the Khalsa kind of like history, when you look forward after the Amrit Sanchar and after Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji Maharaj left, when the women had their children chopped up in front of their eyes and then either sprung on spears or, you know, decapitated in front of them, and the women were so steadfast in their Gursakhi, they didn't give up their Guru, they didn't convert, they didn't do anything like that. They preferred the Gurbani and they took solace from it. And there was a saying at that time, ke Manu Sadi Datri Asi Manu de Soe. So Manu is like a sickle, he's chopping us down all the time because he was the ruler, right? He's trying to get rid of us, but as he chops us, we grow more and more, we propagate more and more, we proliferate more and more. So himmat for me in that sense is like strength to keep going in and keep growing. Look at 1984. After 94, how many Najwan did they kill in India? How many young men did they kill? Even if you go back now, there's a kind of generation gap that's missing. The kind of 40 to 45-year-old males, Amritari males. Now it's Maharaj Girpa has grown again, but there was a time when it was, you couldn't see that generation because they'd been picked up and killed. But you can't destroy it, Gursekhi. It's something created by Akal Purkhs Waheguru, so it grows everywhere else. Now you look at everywhere, for one Gursikh that they probably did Shaheed in 1984, post 1984, there's probably 5 that's grown outside of India. There's more Sikhi here in these countries growing day by day, day by day. There's a reason for that. Maybe in the future there's going to be more stuff's going to happen. By Mohkam Chand, so he's 35 years at that time. And when I looked at the ages, it blew my mind, you know. When I found out the ages of the Panch Pyare, because we always think of them either all the same age or really old, right? But when you look at the age difference and you think, wow, you know, Maharaj's Kirpa happened on these of different people, different ages, different times. And some of them had been with Guruji for some time. Some of them just newbies. So by Mohkam Chand ji was Bhakt Namdev ji's incarnation. Remember, Bhakt Namdev ji had 72 different darshans of Vaheguru Akal Purkhs Waheguru, 72 times. His writings we bow down to in Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj. And for somebody to have darshan 72 times, how much resilience must that person have in them as an individual? To have darshan that many times, how much faith they must have and how much resilience they must have, not even dulling at any aspect. And that's why he's Mohkam, that's why he's steadfast, that's why he's resilient, he doesn't fall. So he was 20 years old. How many of you are 20 years old here? Your age. 20 saalan de si. And he came from 1100 miles away in Dwarka, which in itself was submerged. It was a city where Krishna Bhagwan had created that city. Got submerged 7 times, but it's still, aspects of it are still being found today underwater. So that resilience is still there. Came to Guruji when he was just 15 years old. 15 saal di dada bhi nahi aaya hunda kayin de, right? 15 years old, he dedicated himself to Guruji. How old are you? 14, so 1 year older than you. You can just imagine it, picture it, of what age they must have been when they came to Guruji. And what does a Mohkam mean? Staying steadfast. What about like Anok Singh Babbar, the Khalsa trade, 1984, post 1984, captured in a jail cell, having his eyes gouged out, lip, his tongue was even cut, I think, right? He was getting battered left, right and centre by the police officers. Couldn't even breathe, lying on the floor. Then he gets up and he asks the police commander, he goes, what time is it? And they said it's about 7 o'clock. And he started Rera Sahib's part. And the guy who was torturing him, he just ran out the cell. He goes, I can't deal with these guys. These guys are on some next level. We battered him that much, and he haje vi nahi inhone Waheguru bholda, Rahras nahi bholdi hegi. That kind of resilience. Bhai Sahib Chand ji is 24 years old. He was the incarnation of Bhagt Singh ji. If anyone know about Bhagt Singh ji? His writings are in Guru Granth Sahib ji Maharaj. Sri Sen, we read it every day in Rahras, after Rahras and Aarti Sahib Shabds, yeah? Bhagt Singh ji used to work for a Raja, a king. And they say that his occupation was, he was like a butcher as well. Some people, he was nice jada. He used to help and do massage of the Raja that he used to work for. One day, some Mahapurukhs came to his home at night. He spent all night doing their kirtan, immersed himself in Parmeshwar Vaheguru. He forgot about his duty, forgot about going to the Raja. And he said that Parmeshwar Vaheguru came and did his seva for the Raja. So what his duty was, Vaheguru came in his place and did it. Because he's merged into Vaheguru, right? And that's what Sahib means, somebody who's merged into Parmeshwar Vaheguru. He had that much ustati that Parmeshwar Vaheguru came and did his work for him. And then in the Raja, Bhai Gurdas ji states, in Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj talks about how he came and he was given a robe of honor by the king the next day. He goes, the seva that you did for me yesterday was beyond expression, because I can't even explain how you did seva of me yesterday. He goes, I wasn't even here. Then he realized that Vaheguru had come in his place. He was Bhai Sahib Chand ji, 24 years old. His parents left him with Guru Gobind Singh at the age of 11. If you've got kids ourselves, right, there are some people in this world today who even say, sada putra le lo is for the Guru's house, Gurdwara cha raha tha. There's people like that as well nowadays who have that mentality. Sikhi never dies, the faith never dies, but we just got to find them, find those people. What kind of faith am I talking about? You know, last year we went to a yatra to Hazur Sahib, and the Singhs were telling us, right, there was this is related to this, I just remembered it in my heart. The Singhs were telling us that they met this couple just outside who just come to Anandpur Sahib, and they did Ardas Benti there, and they had a little child with them, so like that Pajangan over there, that age, and they were walking it to Hazur Sahib, husband and wife, with the child. And when the Sangat asked them what happened, well, how come you taking the child all the way to Hazur Sahib like this, the shorta hai, tusi turde jaonge, you know how it's difficult, isn't it? They go, look, our child was diagnosed with a whole lot of Sheikh Beg as Dilovich, and he wasn't going to survive. They did a das pindiya to Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji Maharaj that Maharaj bachalo, kirpa kar deo, and if you help him, we'll devote ourselves to you in some way, shape, form. Please kirpa karyo. And what happened? Wo kirpa hogi. They decided in their hearts that they wanted to walk to Hazur Sahib as a thanks, yeah. They walked all the way to Hazur Sahib. On the rasta, they met good people who fed them, prasada pani vi ditta, sara kuch ditta. Halfway there, somebody took their mobile phone, they lost that, robbed it. Kayan ne, you know, nijaj faida bhi thaya, but in the end, they got there to Hazur Sahib. Kirpa hogi, with the little kid as well in tow, right? And then after about 2 months or so, 3 months, 2 months or so, they saw the couple again, but this time with another baby. What had happened was, she had gone there, and the wife had gone there expecting with a child in her stomach as well. So she was pregnant on top of it as well. All the way to Hazur Sahib from Punjab, Torke. And then she just gave birth on the way back, just outside Chandigarh. And they brought the baby back to Anandpur Sahib to ask for blessings of Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji Maharaj. And then they were saying that they want to do another yatra with both of them. That's the kind of people that still exist today. That's thodi deri hui hai, it's not been long. So one point is that this is Baba Sahib Chand ji, is 24 at that time, reincarnated as Bhagt Singh ji reincarnated. And what does Sahib mean? It means prapti, it means you've merged into, you've obtained Vaheguru. That's what it means. Any questions?
Yes. That's like a pessimistic, skeptical view.
Yeah.
Many people think that Sangat Asija Sage and the Panj Pyare were ordinary people that didn't know what was going to happen. But that version says that they did know. Maharaj himself knew which ones would stand up.
whether they knew or not, only they would know, right? Okay, na? But if somebody's, you andaza hi la sakde assi, if somebody spent every single day with Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji Maharaj from a certain age, you say 1 month, most of the people, some of the people who come from a camp, where they spent 3-4 days with Guruji, and the feeling that they probably have now can't be replaced. It's like it's there, and everyone's yearning for more and more. But my point is that if a person spent all their life, well 1/4, 1/3 of their life for some of these individuals, yeah, with Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji Maharaj, they weren't just normal people. Unhone te Maharaj ne vishesh kirpa kiti hogi. Yeah. Even today, Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji Maharaj, you don't get Panj Pyare Seva just for any other reason. If you're not tiyar bar tiyar in your rahat, or if you have not obtained something spiritually, or your rahat isn't good or great, you won't get that seva. So my point is that those people were either spiritual great. It doesn't mean that it should put Sangat off, because the next 5 people to stand up are known as the Panj Mukte. And those Panj Mukte, like Bhai Deva Singh Ji, Bhai Ishwar Singh Ji Adik, right? They're the Nishanchis. Jida hun Nagar Kirtan chun Nishanchi hunde, they're them, right? After that, Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji Maharaj's family took Amrit. Mata Sahibs and the Sahibzade took Amrit as well. And many other, hundreds of others, Gursikhs took Amrit as well. Knowing, if you look at it from a practical point of view, in the recent times, when like the 1970s, 80s, when Singhs got Amrit in their totality, right? When there's a large number of people, the 10,000 Amrit Shikona, you don't just have one Jatha doing it. You have 5 or 6 Jathe doing the Amrit Sanchars. And I've met Singhs who have actually been in that situation, where they've been part of like about 8 Jathe of Panj Singhs Shikayin Amrit in one place at the same time together. So practically, it's not, to have that many number come all at once from 5 Singhs is not practical. So I'm not saying it happened, but it's possible that those Panj Singh who came after Bhai Daya Singh Ji, Bhai Tanam Singh Ji, Bhai Himmat Singh Ji were possibly 5 of the Jatha that maybe did other Amrit Sanchars later that day, and so on. I don't think it was just like, because they took 80,000 of them, out of them, good majority of them probably took Amrit that day. I like your questions, by the way, sir. So moving into more from the historical side, more to the kind of theoretical side of what Amrit is. Guruji entered the tent, returned with 5 Singhs, all dressed equally with their heads intact. Abu Al-Tarani says that they were beheaded, and Sanjay Nelson says it as well, that they were beheaded there and there on the stage, yeah? Their heads were moved onto different bodies, medically, and then when they were given Amrit, they came alive again. Okay. Guruji then called for a kambal. Pavitrata kambal is bishard on the floor in front of Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj when Amrit Sanchar happens. And the meaning behind it is pavitrata, to keep purity, keep things clean. On top of that, you have this thing on the bottom called the sanera, and the meaning of the sanera is to become solid and unwavering. So in addition to the Panj Pyari's names, these are the elements of what makes the Amrit Sanchar, and this is the qualities that go into the Amrit Sanchar as well, because the whole area is just like, what happens is, Maharaj says in Bani quite a few times, Jitha jaye behe mera Satguru so than so hava Ram Raje. Because the energy of Guru Sahib is so great, wherever there's jap tap going on, with Simran going on, the environment gets also changed as well. So for example, where Guru Sahib maybe did loads of jap tap at certain places in India, they then became Ishnan places, they became Gurdwara. But the place itself might have been just a small tree where Guruji sat next to it and did loads of Simran initially. But it's that Bani, that Simran, that makes that environment explode. And what happened is, so every single thing in that environment then becomes pure as well. So Nera, to become solid and unwavering, and then Sarblo, Bowl and Khanda, which brings fortitude within us. Guruji asked for Jal. Jal is nirmal, it's pure, and it brings peace as well. But Tasib Adeba Mata Jeet Kaur, which is the humility aspect of it. It is said in Tihas, you might have heard Vaisakhi as well, where Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji Maharaj gave a little bit of Amrit to some birds, and they fought with each other and kind of just killed each other. And then Gursikh said that we should put something sweet to add humility to it. Okay? and then the patase were asked for Mata Jeet Kaur ji bought it at the right time, placed the patase in, and that created the ingredient there. When they prepare Amrit Panj Singh, they push the khanda away from themselves and towards themselves. When they pushed away, is synonymous of discarding corrupt thoughts and actions within us. So avgun, they call avgun, these corrupt actions like lust, anger, greed, attachment, all those kind of things. And then when you pull the khanda towards you, it's like bring the love of God towards you. That's the metaphor between stirring the batase in the water in the bowl. And the 10 eyes of the Panj Pyare represent each of the Guru's eyes. The 10 hands represent the hands of each Guru. So all the bakshish that is going into Guru Sahib there is beyond comparison. So I like to think of it as like if Gursikhs are doing that in the form of Gursikhs like Sargun Swarup, then you also got the Nirgun Swarup as well, because the Granthi Singh is told to look at the Bata as well, and the Granthi Singh is in front of Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj. So the eyes of Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj, the bakshish of Guru Granth Sahib Ji is also going there as well. It's all together. Hani.
That's available in number 7.
It's a big one, a huge one.
And it's a full size. So, for your sort of so that's what Maharaj used to look and for them suggest. That shorter container looks more like a symbolic one. But why is that started being used by the Sikhs from the Sujat?
Haji?
Since when and why have started using a shorter container for Amar Sujat, one of the traditions which Maharaj said?
I think over time what's happened is like it's a do cheeਜ਼ਾਂ ਕਹਿ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ. Firstly, over time things change, and like we're not all wearing thin footies now, right? Most of us wear shortiyan karpana, right? That's over time. With the time change, it's kind of things have changed in terms of riyat as well, although we still maintain it, right? Go back 1984, you might have seen things with more bigger shastras when it was a bit more volatile, the whole situation. I think over time it's reduced. The minimum requirement for Gursikh is 9 inches, right? For Karpan, right? That's the minimum requirement. But in times of Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji Maharaj, I like to think of it like this, and there's certain things that Guruji did that we can't possibly do today. Guruji still maintained a bit of uniqueness in the Amrit Sanchar. Like for example, one is the Sahib the Khanda, right? Secondly, Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji Maharaj did that first Amrit Sanchar. He took 2.5 hours to read the Nitnem. So imagine the poise and the amount, the reflection and the amount of Shakti that was going in there, and the time that you can't put any label to it, you can't describe it how they must have been doing at that time. But nowadays Amrit Sanchar won't take that long in terms of the Panjabani of it. Usually about half an hour, 20 minutes, some Amrit Sanchars, just the Bani bit I'm talking about. Sometimes it can be that fast, you know? So my point is that Maharaj says sometimes Maharaj does certain things and we can't copy them. Like, I think the best way to explain it is this, like Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj crossing over to Sri Lanka, right? And Bhai Mardana Ji, Bhai Balaji are following in suit. Guru Nanak Dev Ji is reciting Sohang, Sohang, Sohang. Just before he leaves, he tells them to say Vaheguru. Guruji walks over the water. They're all walking over the water as well. But when they see Maharaj saying Sohang, they give up saying Vaheguru and they start saying Sohang. As soon as they start saying Sohang, Bhai Mardana Ji falls into the water. And then Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj comes back, he says, I told you to say Vaheguru. So there's a Pankti in Bani that says, Gur kahya sakar kamaho. Whatever the Guru says, do that. Gur ki karni kahe tav. Don't look at the Guru's actions. Tusi jo Guru kenda wo karo. So it's possible there that could apply in the Amrit Sanchar here. So we can just take the hands of 10 Gurus of blessing. Guru Sahib is blessing all that Shakti in one go. Hanji Baba Ji.
Bhai Sahib, when Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj done the Amrit Sanchar, if you look at the Panj Pyare, if you look at a lot of the pictures in history, it's all males and that there. Did women take Amrit Sanchar at that time?
No, and it's not hukum either. Bhai Sahib. It's not hukum for a bibi to be in Panj Pyare.
No. Did women take Amrit?
Oh, the women took Amrit. No doubt about that. I'm going to come on to that in a minute now. Okay. But like everyone took Amrit. This Amrit is for everyone. In fact, like, you know, In some places, like I know in certain places in India, Khanda Bata is only given to men, right? It's only one place that does that. But Taksal and Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji Maharaj lineage believes that's not right. The same Amrit should be given to both male and female. In fact, the whole family, the whole Parvar, regardless. Okay, so we'll come to that in a second. So Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji Maharaj then initiated the Panj Singh, told them to repeat the name of the Lord, gave them instructions of what to follow in terms of Rat, discipline, and then they became the 5 beloved ones. And then Itihas says 2 things. Firstly, some Raitaname people who wrote at that time say that Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji Maharaj had taken a bit of the Amrit himself first, because they wanted to kind of get away with that question that how can a Guru who hasn't taken Amrit himself give like Amrit? But that's a silly question, because Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj is the form of Guru Gobind Singh Ji. The first form of giving Amrit was Charan Amrit, all the way from Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj onwards. The Guruji's toe used to be blessed in the water, and the Panj Sikhs who were anointed at that time, even the Maryada of Panj Singh standing up had started from Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj's time. The 5 Sikhs who were anointed to give that water to the Gursikhs, that Charan Amrit as well. So that appears in history as well. But over time, people kind of get clouded with their mindsets, and people like questioning Guru Sahib and the Itihas and stuff that they created. Rules to live by. So Maharaj gave the rules to live by to the Singhs, 5 Panch Kakar Penane, 4 Bajra Kratan to Bachya Rehna, stay away from 4 cardinal sins, keep the Panch Kakari Rat, and so on. And then Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji Maharaj asked for Amrit themselves. That's unforeseen in like Itihas, where Guru Sahib is initiating someone and then asks for to be initiated as well. And in fact, Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji Maharaj was asked by the Panch Pyare, he says, we've dedicated ourselves to you, we've been living with you, Maharaj, we don't go back home, we stay here with you and we do seva. What are you going to give for us? What are you going to give for this Ahmadi Dat? And Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji Maharaj, said at that time that I've already sacrificed my father, I will sacrifice my sons as well, I'll give my whole family Balidan up. Balidan or Sarbans Dan karna. Sarbans Dan for us, right, might be just the more of our families, the attachment to our families, the stepping on the path of Gursikhi, giving up material possessions, giving up the material thought and concentrating more on the spirituality. That is Sarbans Dan as well. If you do it with 110% conviction that I'm going to give it up. And most of us have made those choices at some point in life. I'm going to give up going down that path now. I'm giving up going drinking alcohol and all this kind of thing, and going to parties and all that stuff. I'm going to give that up because my prem for Guruji is higher. That's also Sarbans Dan Karna as well. Okay, but terminal over time, people's Sarbans Dan changes. So 1984, the Sarbans Dan that was going on at that time was actually giving your head for Guruji and Shahidiyan. But in this day and age, we need to propagate the message of Gursikhi to the T, so that there's power in numbers. That's why all this education is happening around the world of Gursikhi. We're in a different phase at the moment. And if you look at a history, it's like that. There's always continuous phases. There's Qurbani, then there's education, Qurbani, education, Qurbani, education, Qurbani, education, Qurbani. It's like that all the time. It keeps going on and on and on. Hanji Baba ji. Ibrahim from the Muslim faith, yeah? He was asked by God to give a balidan, to sacrifice his son, yeah? I don't know if you know what he did. He couldn't sacrifice his son. Mosega, he got attached. So he put a patti on his eyes first. He still couldn't kill him, right? And in the end, what happened was his servants replaced the goat, put bakri in front. So bakri Eid manaunde hai na. It's because of that reason. Eid al-Fitr, Eid al-Adha hundi hai, Eid al-Fitr hundi hai. Bakar Eid kende, and he chopped up the bakra instead because he couldn't kill his own son. Yeah, the Khalsa ideal is higher than everything. In the Khalsa ideal, there's no grey area. There has to be no Kam. There's got to be no Krodh. There's got to be no Lob, greed. There's got to be no ego, and there's got to be no Moh either. There's got to be no attachment. So the prime example of all these things, attachment to your body, attachment to yourself or your family, is somebody's head being touched. Because the head doesn't belong to us, it's his. It's the highest point of our body. So in my thought is that Maharaj didn't want to do any half measures like any other Dharam would have. Maharaj wanted the complete and finished article. So he did it, he chopped the heads off.
So having beheaded those boys, you would have put the heads back. And some say that they were placed on different bodies.
That was the Abu al-Turani kind of his eyewitness account.
That they were put back
They were put back
onto different bodies.
and then given Amrit and revitalized. Khalsa respects Khalsa. That's the prime kind of example of it. So the point is that Guruji the Khushi mil diya, even if he just moved the heads onto each of the bodies, they were each other's anyway. They had gone to that higher level of Sikhi that they're given anything, so he could have done anything what he wanted with them. Does that answer it? The family followed suit. Paji, this is answering your question. Sant Attar Singh ji Mahapurkh hoya na, massive Mahapurkh, and they were the first one of many, like in our kind of modern age, if you want to put late 1800s. They were doing Sri Keskar Sahib Seva of the Gurdwara Sahib, and they dug up the foundations. When they dug up the foundations, they found an old kind of copper story. You know how they have plates where they tell the itihas of what's happened? They had old copper plates which showed Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji Maharaj, the Panch Pyare, blessing Mata Ajit Kaur Ji, Mata and the Sahibzade, Mata Gujar Kaur Ji and the Sahibzade with the Amrit. And then they said that this tells us that Maharaj's family took Amrit at that point as well, on that same day virtually, or maybe a few days after, but they did take Amrit. They would have done it in the same day, I would imagine. That's the top of my head, the prem that they must have for Guru Sahib and Maharaj's hukum as well. But the great thing is, just before you continue, the great thing is Maharaj didn't get his sons to be the Panch Pyare. That's the amazing thing, and that links in with what happened at Chumkar battle when Baba Ajit Singh Ji, Baba Jujar Singh was shaheed, right? Maharaj didn't shed a tear. But later on in Muktsar Jang, when Bhai Maha Singh Ji, who was one of the Khalsa, what we call Nadi Putter, Bindi Putter hunda is from biologically their son. Nadi Putter is what ਅਸੀਂ ਕਹਾਂਗੇ ਵੇ ਉਹ Nadi Putter se who take Amrit, yeah, with Nadi Putter Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji Maharaj. And at that time, when Bhai Maha Singh Ji had asked for forgiveness when he'd come back as a Jali Mukte and fought for Maharaj despite writing to Maharaj that we're not your Sikh, you're not a Guru, that's when Maharaj says in Itihas, Maharaj cried, Maharaj shed tears over him. That's the only place in Itihas that it says it, for his Nadi Putter. It shows how much love Maharaj had for us as individuals and beings.
I was just going to say, from my understanding, the ultimate in any walk of life is to give your head in terms of, because then you are surrendering yourself.
That's right.
Ultimately.
That's right. Even when you
Abraham couldn't do that.
That's right.
That was proven that he wasn't
He couldn't.
trusting God.
He couldn't.
trusting Waheguru. And that, from even Guru Nanak's time, that the demand for a head was even initiated.
And one thing that we got to also remember, whatever Guru Sahib did, right, he'll always go back to Bani. There's always a letter or a word or a line in Bani that Maharaj is satisfying or proving. Like for example, Mirta ko payotan sasa bichrutan malaya. Those who are separated from the Lord, Maharaj has put life back into them. So after them being dead. That's a line for that. O jao to prem khilan ka chao sir tar tali gali miriyao. Yeah, play this game of love with me, come with your head in your hands, basically. Give it to me. So in that Amrit Sanchar, then these rules are given, Naam is given. So Mool Mantar, Vaheguru Mantar, surnames were changed to Singh and Kaur, caste was taken away, freedom and quality of all was the main kind of synopsis of the whole Amrit Sanchar. Worship one God, 4 rules, and then 5 reminders, not having association with certain people, being aware of what your conduct is. Your conduct as a caste has got to be really high. Because obviously these people at that time, obviously these things, what we've got now in our society is what was going on at that time as well. There's infanticide, there's people killing their daughters in their stomachs, yeah. there's parents who may be taking maya off their own daughters, which is a sin. Satankha. It's punishable. If a father turns around to her daughter and says, I want money from you, it's not meant to be, especially if that was one, if she's married. If a daughter gives it, that's a different thing, yeah? But the father won't take it. You know, there's old ideals are not kind of disappearing. If I go to my dad and say, "Main thade lata malish karan," he said, "No way. Kar nahi sakda tu." Even though I'm his son. Because that old kind of mentality of like, I can, you know, I'm alright, you don't need to, I'm doing it. The values are still there. If a daughter tries to touch my feet, I'll turn around to her, I feel awkward saying, doing it. And when I ask the things, I go, is this some sort of thing, that custom, or am I just feeding it within myself for some reason? But he said, "Nahi, sahiya. Shouldn't be doing that. Shouldn't be doing seva in that way." One point is that those kinds of like maybe cultural things, yeah, and then maybe they're Sakhiyan related, but I don't know what the Sakhiyan are. But the point is that, you know, the old ideals of the Khalsa need to stand up again. Our respect for morals, our respect for each other. And instead of invading each other's personal space, let's give personal space to each other and respect each other as ideals, as human men and women, rather than like that. When we look at a girl walking down the street, or as he saw us there, like, oh, she looks nice, she looks fit, or yeah, she's alright, yeah. It's that mentality that's got to disappear, yeah. Even like with our own sisters, something like this was said at Sikhi camp as well, like at the camp. Even with our own sisters, we won't go out of our way sometimes to go and ask for a hug. We won't do that. But koi parai kudi hove, we might go up to them and say, "Kidna pot? How are you?" The pot is the pot, kidna poto, kidna pehne. That's just the label. We go out our way sometimes to get the hug. The physical thing is the thing that's important. So indirectly, sometimes in our minds there might be some sort of calm or whatever going on. But we need to raise our ideals a bit more. As a society, as a culture, as Singhs and Singhaniya. I was talking to Bibi Preetam Kaur ji, who spent 5-6 years in jail, like after 84. Her young child was killed in front of her 6 weeks. 18 days the baby was, and he was shot, her husband was shot, baby fell on her chest, husband fell on her head, right? She got shot as well, but she survived. Yeah, and then she got caught in 1984 in the attack and taken to the jails at Jodhpur and all sorts. And one of the Singhs who was in jail with her told us this is the character I'm talking about, that Gursikhs, and this links into the power of Shakti of Amrit as well, she was Amritari. Even the women warders would come and touch her feet because they said that you're some sort of saint, you are. Early in the morning, Simran karna, Kirtan, Asadivar, Nitnem karna. They didn't see her as a terrorist, they didn't see her as a criminal. And there's one point where they used to have kacharis in the actual prison, where they used to have like what we call hearings, yeah. And all the Singhs will be sitting there in the gallery already, and then Mata Preetam Kaur ji came in as well. When she came in, one of the male guards put his hand on her shoulder in front of all the Singhs in the court, in front of the court judge as well. And there and then she just turned around and slapped him across the face. She goes, "How dare you touch me? I'm the daughter of Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji Maharaj. Don't even go there." That's the kind of spirit and the character that I'm talking about. That's missing. That kind of ankh sadi mari hui hai as Gursikhs. We need to kind of raise the bar a little bit. And when you look at the Amrit Sanchar to its ideals, when you think about the stories and the ages and how the Amrit, what is created, what is made, then you think, actually, you know what? There's the ankh still there. It's a complete character it can make you. Why is it important to take Amrit? It means, Amrit, the word, doesn't mean nectar of death. The slant that I think Bhai Sahib was given us is because I wanted to kind of take your attention from living in this world. So it's the death of the worldly kind of materialistic kind of sense. It's death of that. It's definitely the nectar of death for that. Because Amrit rises you above the world and makes you focus on godly actions and God and spirituality and Simran and Bani and all that kind of stuff. So it's more walking down the spiritual path. But let's give examples of what's happened. You can make what I'm going to fly through these, yeah, because it's quite a lot. Baba Kalatari ji was the family descendant of Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj. So Guru Nanak Dev Ji had two sons, Baba Lakshmi Das ji and Baba Sri Chand ji. Baba Sri Chand ji didn't have no children. Baba Lakshmi Das, his dynasty, to this day are live in a place called Unna, the person on their gadi now at the moment is called Baba Sarabjot Singh Ji Bedi, right? So in their family they had a guy called Baba Kalatari Ji, who was a very spiritual, very respected saint. When he came to see Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji Maharaj at Anandpur Sahib, Maharaj stood up and welcomed him, gave him so much satkar because they were family Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj. And then Baba Kalatari Ji related that they had no son, so his son ahead of him, whose name is Baba Ajit Singh Ji, had no child, and they were struggling that they couldn't have children. So what happened was Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji Maharaj says, take Amrit, because out of all the dynasties of each of the Gurus before us, they've all taken Amrit. The only people who haven't are Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj's Kol. They were the Bedi Kol. Guru Angad Dev Ji's Maharaj Tehin Kol, Tehin background. Their family had taken Amrit already. Guru Amar Das Ji's Palle background, they had taken Amrit as well. And Guru Ram Das Ji's family was Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji Maharaj anyway. And Baba Kalatari was the head of Guru Nanak Dev Ji's family. They said that if you take Amrit, the Maharaj will do Kushi. And then Baba Ajit Singh Ji took Amrit alongside Baba Kalatar Ji at that time. When they took Amrit, the Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji Maharaj then blessed them, said, in your family there will be a great Gursikh called Baba Sahib Singh Ji Bedi. It was this fellow over here. Maharaj gave him quite a few var as well. He'll shika Amrit. He'll also start fire cannons from wood trees. Gardi topa chalauga. He fought against the British, I think, and he had battles against them, and he made cannons hollowed out from trees, if I'm right. Is that right, Nick? Hani? So, but he went around and did a lot of Sanchars as well, Baba Sahib Singh Ji Bedi. This is around the time of Maharaj Ranjit Singh. Okay. Bhai Dayal Das Ji was the grandson of a great Sikh saint called Bhai Bhagtu Ji. And Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji Maharaj, when this is going towards Damdama Sahib, this was after the Chamkar, the battle and stuff, the battle of Chamkar. Bhai Dayal Das Ji wanted to feed Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji Maharaj langar. Maharaj asked him a question. The question was, take what you want from this. This is for your own. We're all on different levels here, yeah? So take what you want in terms of guidance. Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji Maharaj said, I'm not going to eat from you. And he goes, Maharaj, why not? He goes, you're not Amritari yet. You need to take Amrit, then I'll eat. He goes, Maharaj, nahi. He goes, nahi, shakana nahi haje, Maharaj. Maharaj says, chalo, theek hai. Maharaj left with the Singhs and everyone. Bhai Dayal Das Ji then met a Gursikh who advised him that he should, to get Guruji's Kushi, take the food with him on a cart and follow Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji Maharaj. So he took the food in the cart. Wherever Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji Maharaj went, Bhai Dayal Das Ji went with them to try and get them to eat. In the end, about 100 or so kilometers off, they got to Damdama Sahib, and he came to Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji Maharaj and he said, Maharaj, I get the message, I'll take Amrit, right? Maharaj then shikared him Amrit, then ate from his hands. And when obviously the food at that time had gone off, it had gone kharab. When they placed it before Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji Maharaj ne kirpa karti, it came sajriya, jidna it was like fresh. Fir prashada chakya si Maharaj ne unanda. It was Bhai Ram Singh Ji told him to take the langar. Bhai Dalla Ji had done so much seva of Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji Maharaj. He was the kind of head person, not Sri Damdama Sahib. And in the end, when Maharaj asked him, I'm happy with you, even Maharaj's possessions are still in his family, in his descendants of the family. Maharaj says, what do you want? He goes, Mainu Kidi jinna tha de do aap ji kol. Aap ji de charna Kidi jinna tha. I just want the space of like an ant next to you. Maharaj goes, nahi mil sakda. You can't get it. He goes, Maharaj Sahib, kyun galti hogi koi? He goes, nahi, seva tusi bahut ਕੀਤੀ hai, bhavna bahut to amrit nahi ਛਕਿਆ. ਪਰ ਨਾ ਅੰਮ੍ਰਿਤ ਛਕ ਫਿਰ ਤੈਨੂੰ ਇਹ ਜਗ੍ਹਾ ਕੀ ਸਭ ਕੁਝ ਮਿਲ ਸਕਦਾ. Then he took Amrit with his family. Maharaj ne kirpa karti on the whole family. Yeah, he's respected by Dalla Ji in that area. Even today, his family descendants are as well. And Maharaj's vastuwa, all his stuff, like even the clothing that they wore from the Battle of Chamkar, is at their house. You can do darshan of it. Sedgley Singh, who's a descendant of Prithi Chand. Prithi Chand was one of the reasons why Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj got shaheed. He was his brown brother. He was jealous. He wanted this Gurgadi for his own son, Meherban. But their descendants, whose name is Sedgley Singh, asked for forgiveness from Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji Maharaj and took Amrit. And Maharaj forgave him, gave him Amrit, forgave the whole family. My point is that where there's Sharda Bhavana in an individual, when they've got that internal introspection saying that I've done Paap, man mein Paapiyan, Aap ji kirpa karo, save me, then Maharaj does kirpa. He doesn't ever turn you away. He waits for that moment in us to realize when we do galti. And when you take Amrit as well, or even after taking Amrit, we do galti and arat and stuff. We can still go back to Panj Pyare and ask for forgiveness. And Maharaj, they will do Tankha. Maharaj looks forward to those kind of moments. But there will be the Panj Pyare are dayavan like that. They're merciful like that. And then Bhai Dana ji came to Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji Maharaj. This guy is really, in the Itihas, it comes up like a right character, this person, yeah. Because he's got, you can imagine this guy, right? He's got no hair on his head. He's got massive moustache, huge, right? And a massive dada as well. But he's bold. He smokes, right? He comes to Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji Maharaj. Maharaj goes, give up tobacco. He goes, Maharaj, I can't give it up. I'm so used to it. He goes, I get bloated if I don't smoke. The Maharaj goes, don't worry, I'll capture the Afrema, you take Amrit, right? Apne case rakh. Give up tobacco, he said. And what happens is, he gives up tobacco. He goes, Maharaj, shad ditta. He stands up and sung with the hands up in the air. He goes, Maharaj, shad ditta main. He goes, I'll give up tobacco. Then Maharaj goes, case rakh hun. And he goes, Maharaj, he comes in front of Maharaj. It's quite funny in Ityas. He stands with the mucha. He goes, batheriya nahi, Maharaj, dekh lo. He goes, aren't these enough? Bushere nal, he's gone like this with his hands. He goes, isn't this enough? He goes, you're saying this, why they got a case on their heads for? And Maharaj goes, main narkan cho bachaunga. He goes, I'll pull you out from the case from your nark. When you go into hell, I'll pull you out if you do any mistakes. He goes, how can that be? He goes, what? He goes, you can pull, how can you pull things out of nark with their hair and stuff? He goes, maine samajh lag di. He goes, dikhal danna fir. Some itihaskas say that Maharaj put his tear on his forehead then at that time. And then he saw in hell, right, that old Maharaj is pulling out Gursikhs from hell because of their case. Even though they might have done some sort of paap, he's pulling them out. Fir un gyan aa gaya, Maharaj baksh lo hana, case rakh lenne hain. Then Maharaj, after they're about to take Amrit, right, then Maharaj stands up, hun rahat rakhni paini hai. And then he explains the rahat. He goes, Maharaj, rahat kyun rakhni hai? He goes, je tu rakhunga fir tenu pata laguga. And then he takes the rahat, he keeps the rahat as well. So there's characters like that in Itihas. But he became known as Bhai Dan Singh Ji as well, another great Gursikh from that Malwa kind of area. Surnar Munjan Amrit Khoj. You might have heard these words in Bani, in Nand Sahib. Sri Ramchandra Ji was asked his saints where Amrit is. Somebody turned around and said the ocean. Somebody said the moon's rays, because at night the fruit receives its kind of juice. Heavens, some said it was like with the Devate. Some people said snakes have like a gem in their head. Maybe they've got it. And somebody said it's on the lips of Devate, of angelic beings. But then for each of these things you can pose a question. And it's actually Hanuman apparently who posed these questions back to Ramchandra. And he goes, how can Amrit be in the ocean? Because it's still salty. The ocean's salty. Amrit's supposed to be sweet, right? Moon's rays, why would the lotus die out or close up at night then? It's not Amrit. Amrit gives you life, right? Why would partridges suffer? Partridges die for the sunlight and the moonlight. They're running around at night. In the daytime, they're nowhere to be seen. So why would they give dukh? Amrit doesn't give dukh to anyone. Heavens, why would Indra become cursed? If it was in the Devte with the angelic beings, if you look at the history of Indra, right, he was said to have done really bad things, although he was an angelic being. These Devate are in charge of all the natural processes like air, water and all that kind of stuff, yeah? But they did paap as well. So how can they have said to have Amrit? It doesn't mean that Amritari don't do paap. It means the quality of Amrit itself. We're talking about the qualities of Amrit here. So Amrit gives you qualities, doesn't give you paap, it doesn't make you do paap. Snake gems or in hell. So if the snakes had gems in them, they had Amrit, or if there was to be found in hell the Amrit, why would snakes emerge poisonous? Their poison would be taken away, right? If they had Amrit within them. And the lips of Devte, then why would their live wives die then? If they had Amrit on their lips and that kind of ambrosial stuff, then why is it that their wives would die then? Because they obviously spent time with them, conversed with them, talked to them, physically had a relationship with them, so why would they die then? So these are all questions that arose. So this particular type of Amrit, so Amrit Gurate Paya, is separate from that, it's different. It cuts 84. Simple way to kind of put it is, we all have a bank account of actions or karam, yeah? And we have to see out those karam, right? That is like the hukum for us in our world. So what, accept good or bad, dukh or sukh, happiness or sadness. then we are capable of doing actions which we call kiriman karam, which we can, what we call karam in itself. Asi karam hor karde hain. Those karam can be good or bad, right? What Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji Maharaj does is that he cuts the charasi. So if we have done pap, or if we do sins, if you're amritari, you don't get born again as an animal or anything else, any of the other species. You get a chance again in human form to do human actions, maybe access to Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj in our lives. Okay? Fear of death is taken away. There was a fakir who used to live in a grave. He was so scared of death that he dug a grave and slept in it. It's in the house as well. Maharaj told this Gursikhs to pull him out and bring him to him. He came, Musalman si, and Maharaj, he said, Maharaj, I'm scared of death. And Maharaj said, Amrit Shak, and I'll take the fear of death away for you. Then he took Amrit, he became Ajmer Singh, and I think later on he became Shaheed in battles as well. So his fear of death disappeared. Headless warriors like Baba Deep Singh Ji, Bhai Gurbakh Singh Ji, Bhai Taru Singh Ji lived 22 days after that scalping, right? Didn't get his gaze cut though. He got scalped off, but his gaze didn't get cut. Baba Deep Singh Ji fought with his head in his hand. It's the power of the Shakti of Amrit. He wasn't the only Gursikh who did that. There's quite a few Gursikhs in Sikh history who were named as fought with their head in their hands. It's the power of Amrit. That Amrit that takes you, makes you immortal. Last slide. Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji Maharaj is known to have said this: the Sikh is not important to me, but his or her discipline is. And that discipline is forged when you learn it in the company of the Panch Pyare, Atnam Sanchar. They tell you what's right and wrong, things to avoid, and it's up to us then to earn it so that we can merge into Parmeshwar Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji Maharaj.